Welcome one, welcome all. We have another college football slate ahead of us here. It is week 8, and we got a ton of great games ahead on tap. As always, I'm joined by Big T and Bruce. And Bruce, I got to start off with you. After Texas gets the job done against Oklahoma last week, that had to give you a sense of joy, a sense of hope, something that maybe the Bengals fans got last night.
Little semi, they call that in some parts.
Yeah, love to see it. I know Tony was on my horns as well. So good to see Arch get it done. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's a good week to bounce back. I know I had a rough week last week. My main team didn't even hit triple digits, so it's you you hate to see that. A lot of snowflakes in there. So
It
yeah,
had to be the worst week of chalk ever, I think,
yeah,
where
yeah.
so many of the best plays were just horrific.
Yep. Deuce Robinson scored 3. Sam Jackson scored negative, and yeah, it was terrible. So it's
I
a
tried
good
on the
week.
show to talk people out of that. I took a lot of harassment from the chat too, in Discord, on the show. How can you fade a quarterback that's 3K?
Mhm.
Well,
Yep.
he's not a damn quarterback. That's
Yeah.
how you can do it.
Yeah, he was terrible. It was
Oh,
hard to watch.
he had negative rushing yards too. That's notable. That was probably one of the worst DFS plays I can remember in quite some time because
Mhm.
you knew it was a trap walking in, man. You just, oh God, I'm kicking
It, it,
myself.
it is tough to fade a guy that's going to be quarterback at 3K. I mean, I think we talked about it pretty good on the show.
I mean, when the first passing touchdown wasn't him, it kind of went from midnight to 6 real quick when you saw they put up 6 and threw a passing touchdown and it wasn't him. So, again, for anyone watching, we will cover the 4-gamer tonight for Friday's slate, which is tonight. That will be at the end of the show. I'll try and talk about this slate for an hour on Saturday, and then we will transition into the Friday slate to end the show there. Again, that is something new. I'll keep this ticker scrolling at the bottom too, so that way everyone knows. Should be a great time ahead of us. As always, Bruce has the full playbook, cores, and everything else on the site. Big T's got his rankings up here in a little bit as well. Guys, we're going to go ahead and start with this Saturday slate. I'm going to pull up SaberSim here too. We got an 11 gamer, not 12. So that was something that kind of got me by surprise. I think we've had a 12 game slate every single main slate until now. But first game that we're going to go ahead and get to is an ACC matchup, and it's our guy, Haynes King, the only guy that you can count on week in and week out to truly hit his fantasy value. Bruce, you said it last week. A lot of chalk failed, but Haynes King was one of the guys who actually did okay. It was one of those weeks where if you had like Abu Sama and Haynes King, you were really well ahead of the field in terms of you didn't need that much else from your other guys to really kind of get to that cash line. I had both. I didn't reach that cash line because of Samuel Jackson and all the other guys, but Bruce, talk to me about some Georgia Tech and Duke tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah, interesting game for sure. Both teams have been pretty bad on defense. I think it's surprising Georgia Tech has been kind of soft, but they have. You have Darian Mensah at 6,900. He doesn't run much, but he is 6,900, and it seems this week more than any that pricing is really done really well. It's just going through the salaries this morning. I couldn't find a whole lot of misprices. Haynes King at 8,300 is going to be popular just because of his rushing upside. 42% QB usage is nuts in college. 17 rushes per game. So he's always a solid play. Nate Shepherd is going to have some ownership for Duke. It's a home game for Duke, and he's been really good for them. 4.46 yards after contact, kind of came out of nowhere this year, and he's looked really good. Haynes, the running back, and then Castle, all he does is score touchdowns. Dude averages like 7 carries per game, and he has 6 touchdowns on the year. So he's solid value. Receivers, it's kind of a little bit tougher. You don't want to play a lot of Georgia Tech receivers because they want to run the football. But Eric Rivers isn't bad at 4,100, and then Rutherford at 3,700. And then the two Duke studs, Brown and Barkate, they're always in play. But yeah, it should be a nice game. Pace is pretty good. So should be solid. Haynes King is always in play, of course.
Yep, Haynes King always in play, and you're right about this Castle just being a touchdown machine. Nate Shepard as well, and I know Big T, you're going to be a big fan of this. A guy who's able to take his L and talk about it, right? AJ mentions that Big T was right. I was wrong. That's a man right there. A guy who's coming into chat, immediately coming in, taking full accountability. That's what we like, AJ. I mean, I know Big T, you're going to be a big fan of that.
Yeah, that's how you got to be. I mean, we pick a lot of stuff wrong too. I take a lot of L's every week. Come on these shows. If you have a lot of takes, and I said this on the NFL show, one of these shows, because people were just all over me about Swift doing good. And we come on a show pretty much every day and give strong takes. We don't just say the best plays. You're going to miss a lot of stuff too. You're going to get stuff right. It's easy. It would be so easy just to come on and just have all the blanket takes, all the best plays are the best plays, the bad plays are the bad. That's not how we do it at Run Pure Sports. So makes it fun. And yeah, you got to be able to take L's. I take L's. Rubio takes a freaking lot of L's. Even Bruce took an L. Bruce takes less L's than us, but he takes L. Everyone takes freaking L's. And if you don't, you're a donkey. So I love it. And I'm sure there'll be more we can argue about this week. But 60 total, 2.5 spread. You start out with a nice game right out of the gate, and there's a lot of guys that I think you can play in this game. There might not be any like crazy big projections, but there's a lot of good value in this game all the way down the board. And Duke's kind of been a team that has treated us good for some of these slates, just consistent. Barkate, Mensa, even Shepard. I don't love Shepard, but he's looked pretty good too. You got a couple cheap receivers, like you guys said. Quinshawn Brown, Hagens has been pretty decent. And then Castle, I mean, at a 4K price point, you have to look at him too. So a lot of options here. Duke at home. I like Duke in this game too to win. Only 2.5 point spread. I like Duke. And then Georgia Tech, I'm never really going to play their receivers. Haynes is Jamal Haynes is 5,700. He's okay. I don't like hate him or anything, but I don't need him. Haynes King, just so consistent, like him every week. Good floor. You don't have to pair him with anyone, which is nice. So, yeah, I mean, no crazy takes in this game. This always happens on these weeknight slates. I haven't looked yet, but people always try to talk themselves out of two quarterbacks. I'm going to take one quick peel at it while we're moving onward.
Back when I was living in Louisville, and I told you on one of those CFP slates, I think I told you, I didn't run 2 QBs, and you spent 5 minutes lecturing me about how I was wrong, and then I haven't gone that route since.
You need weeknight slates are always the ones that are tempting because it's really bad some nights, like really. But tonight can't be that way. I need to pull it up though.
You got some really good teams tonight. Egot's questionable or something like that too. You got him and Scudero who are banged up a little bit, but you got some great teams. And I mean, that Miami Louisville game, I know I'll be glued to the TV for that. But yeah, I mean,
quarterback, it's ugly, but you're still playing too. It's not, I mean, the biggest projection. Oh, there is one. I didn't see that. There's one huge projection. Yeah. If you ever have one huge projection at quarterback, though, you could find another one. Just get another one in there.
And Colin, you mentioned why didn't we start on the Friday slate first? The only reason why was we want to keep this about the Saturday slate mostly, but again, it's bonus content for the end of the show, Friday 4 game. We'll try and talk about that at around 4.
And so the rewatches don't have to hear our Friday nonsense.
That's very, very true. You're exactly right. I mean, the only thing I wanted to add is I think I'm going to still play some Barkate right at 6K, still in the top 12 in the slate and target share using Bruce's notes, which I'm gonna be a sucker for targets. I'm just tired of not getting targets for some of my wide receivers at times, whether it's like guys getting hurt or whatever. Barkate's gonna make the list just purely because what is this? 21% target share, 22% target share. So that puts him in the top 12. And we know what Duke can be like. This game could blow up with 70 plus points. That's the only guy I got to add. Of that. And I know you guys mentioned him a little bit too, but yeah, I mean we'll move on from Duke and Georgia Tech to Arizona and Houston. This game, I mean, what was it? Wegman had a decent game last time, if I remember right. I think he ran one in. You also had Amari Thomas, who had a great day at 4,600 as well. I feel like he was way cheaper last week. And then Big T's favorite quarterback, Fafita, obviously, just a massive fan of him. But Bruce, talk to me about some Houston and Arizona.
Yeah, Amari Thomas was min price last slate and just nuked. So Yeah, gets a little bit of a price bump at 4,600. Dude had 9 targets last week. I think he's still in play. Arizona's been kind of sneaky good on defense. Um, has been very surprising. And Houston played probably one of the worst defenses in the Big 12 in Oklahoma State last week. So, um, yeah, it's a little bit tougher matchup, but you could still play Thomas at 4,600. I don't hate that. I do think Chris Hudson at 3,900 for Arizona is going to have some ownership. His targets the last 3 weeks have been 10, 5, and 15, and he's still under 4K. I think he's a really good play there. He's kind of been around the block at a couple schools. You have Dean Connors. He's like a tournament play, I guess. 42% usage for him. Still getting the majority of the snaps at running back. Don't want to play Fafita. Wegman runs a little bit, so you could possibly play him. He ran a little bit last week, and I don't hate that, but mostly a tournament play there. I think Hudson, and that's about it in this one. Maybe Amari Thomas.
Oh, it's nice, short and sweet here for a game that isn't going to be too popular DFS wise. I like the Hudson call there. Big T, who are you on in this game?
Yeah, it looks like a ugly game. Hudson looks like a great play. The targets are there, the stats are there, the history's there. You just got the Fafita factor here, where he's owned too. I wish Hudson was priced normal, where he's like 4,900 or something. It's annoying that he's 3,900 getting this many targets, but I kind of think both of these defenses are a little bit better. It's a 47 total. I'm fine with Hudson, but I don't think you have to go there. I love the under in this game, though. So I think Hobbs was talking about this game right here. Take the under and move on. I love the under in this game. So if I love the under in a college game, I really don't want to get that much exposure to it. But Hudson's in play. I agree exactly with Bruce. Hudson's in play. Thomas is in play. I can't play the quarterbacks here. No way. And yeah, I don't want a ton though.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense there. I mean, save some time. I'll be hand in hand with you guys there. Hudson's the only guy projecting for any ownership as well. I know we're using Bruce's ownership projections here. Maury Tom's kind of trying to creep into double digits, but won't quite. So it's literally just going to be Hudson, and that's about it. We'll move on from this game to an absolute banger of a game, kind of the opposite of Arizona and Houston, and it's Baylor and TCU. I mean, there's a lot to like about this one. Kavorian Barnes had an okay game last time out. Eric McAllister is looking like the stud he was. And, when we had him at that one slate of no ownership, when Jordan Dwyer was so high owned, I'm still thinking about that slate. That was the best slate of the season. And then obviously Hoover, Robertson, Washington, and then all of these, quadruple of the, wide receivers and tight ends for Baylor. A lot to like in this one here, Bruce. Who do you like the best?
Yeah, best paced game of the week as well. I think Hoover and Robertson are both in play. You're going to see lower ownership on Robertson just because people want to play Bryson Washington there, and Hoover's price is a little bit better. You're going to see more people on Hoover than Robertson, but I think they're both in play here. Props for Hoover, 309.5 passing yards. Robertson is 310.5. So both props are up there and look good. Bryson Washington's rush prop is 80.5, and then Barnes is 65.5. So I love Barnes here, 4,900. He's going to have some ownership. 67% of the snaps last week, and he looks like a good play to me. You can't discount Bryson Washington's usage as well. 54% at running back is crazy. And then you have all the receivers. You mentioned McAllister, Trigg, solid, 13 targets in their last game. Just a monster at tight end. Josh Cameron as well. His ownership's going to be a little bit lower, but he has that upside for sure. Hawkins. If Manjack's out, you can play Ed Small. Dude got 13 targets with Manjack banged up. So if Manjack's not 100%, Small is only 3,500 and should get some work as well. But yeah, it's one of the best games of the week. And prices are really good. You can just jam this game for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, Ed's small number is kind of crazy. He had 13 targets, and then Kavorian Barnes was the leader of that backfield. They still, they had quite a few running backs, still get a couple touches, nothing too big, kind of in line to what you had. But you're exactly right about snap count is very promising, right? The snap share for him, and it was Joe Jackson at 27 and 110 in that same game. Where Joe Jackson, you were right, Big T, he did outperform Kavorian Barnes. I'll take my L on that one. Like you said, I probably take the most L's in the show. I'll take my L on that one there. But really, I mean, Kavorian Barnes is cheap at 4,900 here. He is projected to be owned. This is a great game environment. I know a big question that will often be asked in the chat because we get it every single week is which Baylor wide receiver, right? And Big T, which Baylor wide receiver is your guy today?
So it actually leads into my point, and it kind of, I hate when these games start it because you kind of go through your plays of the day and look at it and stuff. And with this many receivers that you could just slam in there, Trigg and Cameron and Hawkins and Cole Wilson, what I like to do is just shove the quarterback and then let two guys get in there with them, depending on the price. Because honestly, I obviously think Trigg and Cameron are the two like featured guys, but Hawkins and Cole Wilson still have upside too at their price points, and it just makes it a lot of sense to play Robertson with two of these guys. I don't ever like Bryson Washington as much as the field either. And he's not going to be that high on this week, but I just think Robertson with two receivers is just a slam dunk. If I got to pick two, Trigg and Cameron are both only in the 5Ks, so I'll take those two. But again, I mean, I like Hawkins and Wilson too, so I want a lot of that exposure. But Trigg and Cameron are just cheap, so it makes it easy. And it's my favorite type of build because the receivers the other way are the exact same thing. McAllister's been awesome. Manjak's price is finally where I don't feel like I need him, but he's still okay. Dwyer's still fine. It's crazy how much a few games changes too. Like that one week when Bruce had McAllister as the play of the week, Dwyer was like more projected than McAllister, and how quick things flip. And now we're back to kind of the reality of the start of the season. So I think it's Hoover plus, I mean, McAllister would be the number one. I don't like the running backs as much. I thought that was my dog. Whose dog was that? My dog's sitting next to me. I thought it was my dog. I got to be Big Bruce getting after. You guys both mine. Got the little guys too.
Yeah, she even has on her bark collar, and she doesn't care. She's just going.
Yeah, that's when you're an alpha. When you're a true alpha, you say screw the bark collar. I'm going to bark right through it. I like that. I respect that. Big T, we're not far away from you loving what? We are not far away from you loving Bryson Washington as chalk. What does that mean?
I don't know. Maybe you've been loving the chalk expensive running backs a little bit. He's not that. Maybe.
I said I don't like him. I don't know what that means.
Hey, you don't like him. Anything else to add to this game here, Big T?
No, I mean this game is. Oh, you said Bruce, but I'll finish it up anyways. I think it's such a slam dunk game. Usually, I don't always have to play the chalk. It looks good though.
And real quick, Bruce, like I just look at Big T's point, right? Double stacking Baylor could be a great idea. Sawyer Robertson against Kansas State threw for 345, but it was only Trigg who eclipsed 100 yards in that game. I'm just like wondering, is Trigg the clear alpha in that room in terms of if you're playing Robertson, are you just jamming in Trigg with him? And then it's trying to find that second wide receiver / tight end.
Yeah, when he doesn't get hurt, he's been crazy. So yeah. I think he's probably the best play there. And then Cameron obviously has the most upside always.
Yeah, it's like I just keep looking at Trigg, and we obviously all saw the Auburn game to start the year too, because that was a Friday slate where Trigg just kept popping up, and every game since then, like you said, unless he gets hurt, man, it's just been constant producing for him. I think I'm with you guys. Overstack this game. I mean, it's going to have a lot of high ownership though, but like you said, if you go two wide receivers, hell, you could. And is there enough value to double stack, both quarterbacks in this game? That's the question. And even with Hoover, sometimes you only need McAllister with him. McAllister's price is not that bad at all. Love this game. We'll move on to LSU and Vandy. Vandy favored against LSU at home here, -2.5 point favorites. Diego Pavia at 7.5, Nussmeier at 7.7. Bruce, is this a great game DFS-wise, or is it one of those where, outside of maybe like Durham or Pavia, it's not going to get a whole lot of ownership?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be lower owned other than than Pavia. I couldn't believe like Nussmeier is getting no love. It's not a great Vanderbilt defense here. It is at their place, but they usually don't have much of a crowd. So I do like Durham. Got 56% of the snaps last week, and looks like a good running back there. Looks healthy. I think that's the main thing. Um, but yeah, Pavia is a great play. I don't. The LSU receiver situation is always rough. They Aaron Anderson was out last week, and I think he's out again. So Kyle Parker at 3,700 scored last week for us, and he filled in for him, played 62% of the snaps, and looks like a stud. Green, the tight end, went off 10 targets last week. He's a stud as well at 4,600. Xavion Thomas got tackled at the 1, which tilted me on the night slate. He's always, always up there. Just a, it's a pretty solid game. What's the total here? You said it was, let's see,
Was it
48 and a
47?
half. Yeah,
40.
48 and a half. So yeah, slow paced teams. So you're probably only going to want maybe one or two guys from this game, but I like Pavia. I think he's okay. Just the amount of running he's going to do, but yeah, it's tough to play a whole lot together. It definitely is not. I don't think it's going to shoot out at all.
Yeah, I mean, outside of Haynes King, you have where Pavia would be in the top 5 on this slate, just in terms of rushing attempts per game, right? Which is always very nice. With Nussmeier, that's the issue, right? You said it best with the wide receivers. It's like, well, you kind of need to double stack him, it feels, right? And then getting the double stack right is just as difficult as anything else on a slate. Big T, are you a big fan of Pavia today or tomorrow at high ownership?
Always.
Oh, yeah.
I like Pavia. My only issue is still only a 48 total in college. It makes it a little tough. They're at home at least. I love pairing him with Stowers too. I think Stowers is a beast. Looks like a monster. He's another guy though. I don't know if he's got like the most upside in the world, but I think he's just rock solid at that price. LSU is a team I just never like. I think Nussmeier's on my list of guys I just think stinks. I don't like Durham. I don't like anything about LSU. I don't like any of their players. I don't like their coach. I don't like anything about them. So I'm on Vandy for sure. He's Pavia naked is one guy you can definitely do. For me personally, though, I just think so highly of Stowers that when I play Pavia, I'm just going to play Stowers with him. Or Alexander has a upside like dump offs. I think you could do a random like pairing with a running back there. Alexander, Trey Richardson's been okay. I would just pair him with Stowers though. I don't really see a reason not to. Stowers is solid, price point solid, ownership's low, but you can play him. You can play him naked for sure.
Bruce, that Cedric Alexander only got 4 carries against Bama. Was there any word on why that was so few, despite breaking a long one early on in that game? Or was he like, did he get hurt in it? Like, what was the issue?
No idea. Yeah, I haven't seen anything on it, but it's possible he got a little banged up, or they just went away from the run completely. I don't know, but he looks like he's back to 100% off the bye week. So I guess
Okay.
we'll see.
Nice. Sorry, that's why I just keep coming back to that because you mentioned it last week, right? We were talking about going against Bama, how Vandy did have a little bit of success on the ground against them, and then Cedric Alexander ran 4 for 76, and then didn't touch the ball. Other than that, I just wanted to make sure that his health was good. Big T, if there was a guy I could have guessed that you were on this slate, it would have been Stowers, right? You're a big fan of him.
Except you said his freaking name wrong again.
Power,
Every week
Power?
you're giving me these damn pronunciations. Stowers, like it's not Stowers.
Stouffer's mac and cheese. All right, that's what I'm eating that for dinner. Stouffer's. I knew you'd be on him.
I can't help it. I do have a problem with him. I think he's like way better than he probably actually is.
Oh yeah, that's good stuff. And then we get a question from Hobbs. What about Cheryl here, Bruce?
Yeah, he's okay too. 10 and 6 targets the last 2 weeks. So he definitely has to be in play. 5 touchdowns on the year. So Yeah, I don't think he's bad either. At 3,700 for sure on DraftKings. A little bit higher on FanDuel at 7,900.
Our guy Hobbs is hyped up for the NBA season that starts in about 4 or 5 days. Make sure you get a Run Pure sub, right? You know, we can cover in all the NBA slates, not just college football, not just NASCAR, but you have a trucks race starting in an hour. Not just NFL, we cover every single sport. NBA will be an absolute blast. I know Hobbs is in there hyping up some Reed Shepherd. That's the easiest way, you know, to give a lot of the UK guys some love is you know, some appreciation in the Discord. Our guy Reed Shepherd. Let's go ahead and move on from this game here. We got the SEC matchup to a Big Ten affair. Washington taking on Michigan. And Big T, I'm going to start with you here just because I circled this, I highlighted it, I bolded it. USC beat the crap out of Michigan last week. All right. You saw the spread of that Notre Dame game. I have to assume that you did. Notre Dame is only 8.5-point favorites against USC there. Are you just bashing in Notre Dame and selling on the USC performance from last week? Or is Michigan just like, you know, was Michigan good in your eyes? Like, I know I'm kind of relating this back to USC, but like, was it Michigan looking bad or was it USC looking good last week?
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of a tougher spot than I talked about on the show. It is a weird matchup. USC's offense is really good. They kind of fit the boxes of what is good against Michigan. Michigan really didn't get it going. And Haynes got hurt, I think, during it and didn't play a ton. It was just a perfect storm. But the good thing is I love this spot for Michigan. I'm not even a Michigan fan, but I just keep feeling like these spots are just too good. -5.5 back at home. Now Washington's traveling east instead of Michigan traveling west. I don't think Washington's all that good. I can't wait to get back on Michigan here. They cost me last week, but I can't wait to get back on them. As far as fantasy, though, Haynes was banged up. Underwood looked horrible in that game. He'll look better back at home. Demon Williams has been all right. Jonah Coleman, Denzel Boston's been good. But as far as the fantasy side of this game, I don't see anything I like. I mean, it's 51.5 total. That's a decent total for a Michigan game. I don't love the prices, though. I will definitely be betting Michigan again in this spot, though.
I am in agreement with you there. It's a noon game, right? So this is like a 9 a.m. local kickoff time for Washington, which is kind of diabolical in the Big Ten, which you got to respect it. They're definitely favoring some Michigan bias in there. Real quick before I let you go, Big T, you know, just because we're not going to be able to talk about it since it's 7:30 on the night slate on Saturday. Are you on Notre Dame -9?
You wanted me to talk about the Notre Dame or whatever.
I wanted your take on
Notre Dame. I'm on Notre Dame. They're a buzzsaw. USC, I'm still not believing it. Yeah, absolutely. I'm on Notre Dame. Notre Dame. Is that what you call them? Notre Dame?
Notre Dame.
There you see, now you got it in there. Notre Dame. I am 100% on the Irish.
I just wanted to hear you say it, so that way we can clip it once they beat the Cheeks by 21 there. Bruce, talk to me about beat the Cheeks by 20 plus. Notre Dame alt spreads, baby. You know, they're a wagon, like you said.
Yeah.
Bruce, talk to me about some Michigan and Washington here. Washington, obviously, a very, very tough matchup. Is the Justice Haynes injury something to watch, and would it be Jordan Marshall who steps up?
Yeah, going to be a slow-paced game. You know, we saw it with USC last week. You know, Michigan and USC both went very slow. Waited till the last couple seconds of that play clock, and man, it's really annoying. Both teams 27 seconds per play, so it's near the bottom of the slate for sure. It's going to be slow, but you know the thing with this game is both teams' pass defenses are pretty close to worst on the slate. So you know, could be some pass plays there for sure. You know, you mentioned Justice Haynes. If he doesn't go, yeah, it would be a lot of Jordan Marshall. Jasper Parker is another guy that they're Michigan's very high on. You know, and he played. I think he played a little bit last game as well. Well, actually, no, he played a game earlier in the year and looked good. So, you know, if he plays, he's probably solid at 3K. Yeah, probably make that 3K shitter list for sure. Andrew Marsh is another guy that's kind of come on for Michigan. 9 targets last week. I know me and a couple of people had a discussion about him. He's looked really good. 3,900. Macaulay always in play at 5,100. Boston at 6,600. And I always like Damon Williams. He's a stud, 27% usage, and I really don't love the Michigan defense. So I think he can do a few things. I know it's on the road. Don't like playing quarterbacks on the road, but those dual threat quarterbacks travel well, and he's going to be running the football against a bad defense. So I don't mind him at all.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah, Macaulay. It seems like I keep chasing the Marlon Klein dragon, right? I keep betting his props here. I gotta stop it. I'm gonna quit the Marlon Klein dragon there because he has been someone who I feel like we bet like 3 times this season, Bruce. I don't think it's paid dirt on one of them. So this is the week I finally quit. So you know what that means? Jam Marlon Klein for 5 for 50 and 2 this week because we're finally stopping playing him at 3,200 here. Yeah, I'm with you, Bruce. It's going to be interesting. This will tell you a lot about Washington too, right? Washington ended up starting off really slow. Was it against Rutgers last week, right? I think they started off really slow. That was like a Thursday night game, I believe. But they then ended up getting going. And like you said, against Ohio State, a lot of respect for them. It's just what, Big T said, right? It's traveling east. It is a 9 a.m. local, kickoff time for their standard, right? So, if they can start off strong, maybe they have hope. It's going to be tough to do that. The body clock, the travel, everything around it. Like Big T said, these are college kids. These are not professional athletes. So I'm starting to try and factor that in a little bit more, just for you, Tony. We'll move on from this game. Oklahoma taking on South Carolina. Oklahoma looked really, really rough last week, but that Texas defense finally shined, Bruce, and gave you a lot of hope. I mean, Mateer looked human. I mean, the entire first and second half. I mean, it just didn't feel like Oklahoma stood much of a chance there. Blaylock was getting most of the carries. I just don't really have a ton of hope for them, right? In just terms of moving the ball here on the road. I don't know if you're going to be in agreement or not. But then you have South Carolina too, where Lenora Sellers has been underwhelming, but man, he has only 6,400. If I would have told you that to start the season, that Lenora Sellers would be 6,400 on a slate, it would definitely be tempting to say the least. What do you think about this game?
I mean, 43.5 total. It looks gross on paper. I think Mateer, his hand still looked terrible. Like half of his throws were fluttering. That helped out Texas a lot for sure. They just kind of crowded the line of scrimmage and made him throw the football, and it looked horrible. So, no interest in Mateer for sure. Sellers, tournaments is fine, but not a ton of interest in this game for sure. Blaylock is okay at 5,300 in tournaments. And Satania, I know I ran projections earlier, and he ended up in some. He's going to be about 20% owned. He's interesting. Jacobs at 3,900, kind of becoming their number one wide receiver here lately. Is good, and that's about it. It's going to be a pretty bad game at South Carolina, I think. Why don't we coin it the Baby Mahomes Bowl? Because our guy Baby Mahomes went from Oklahoma to South Carolina, and that's all I think of now.
That's good stuff right there.
You got the featured matchup this week, Bruce, too. Baby Mahomes versus Caleb Williams, the original duel.
Hell yeah.
Real quick, too, you're exactly right about Jacob. That's not something I noticed here. I know it's not the greatest spot, but 9, 7, and 9 targets over the last 3 weeks there, Bruce. He is definitely kind of assuming that role. And again, I've only watched a couple South Carolina.
I refuse to let you guys play Jacobs.
He's only 3,900.
I'm putting a stamp of refusal on that. I'm putting a veto power. You're not allowed to play a dude projected for 9, 10 points in a friggin' 43 total. Like, you just aren't allowed.
How do you feel about Satania, the Oklahoma receiver, 3,600?
Yeah, I'm out on him too, but I could be talked into him more at 3,600. Do you like him? You like him like he's a talent?
Yeah, I think he's a good player. He plays in the slot too, so that's about Mateer's range right now.
I'll tell you what I like then. If he's a talent and he's projected and he's supposed to be good, I like going Deion Burks, 1,200 more, the same leverage play we've talked about all year long. 3,600, 4,800, 1,200 more. No one wants to pay. It's a similar projection, maybe even a lower projection. Yeah, I mean, give me Deion Burks over him. But man, it's a 43 total. These are the games I just never really get suckered into going crazy with. The totals, these teams are decent on defense. There's going to be no points. it's just too hard of a spot. But I like Deion Burks a little bit. I refuse to let you guys play Jacobs, though. I refuse.
All right, so my play of the day is Jacob. No.
Oh, God.
You gotta love the targets. I mean, Lenore Sellers was a Heisman frontrunner to start the year. Big T.
He literally throws worse than you.
I throw a mean sideways spiral. That ball will.
You don't throw nothing. You throw knuckle puck.
You know what? Just get out there. I'll throw a deep ball to.
I seen you at the RPS party when we were throwing it around. You throw like Uncle Rico.
Yeah, he's got a cannon. There's a reason. If he was put in that game in JV, he would have made the league. I'm with you guys, though. Not a whole lot else to get excited about. We'll move on to the 3:30 games here. We got Ole Miss taking on some Georgia. Probably the game of the day, especially the game of the afternoon here. It's the same thing that you always say, Bruce. It's just this is one of the ugliest wide receiver rooms in football. Zachariah Branch's ADOT is literally below 2, which a whole lot of jet sweeps. We had a guy named Anthony Eager over the early slate there who, literally it was just like 3 jet sweeps and 1 screen to him. And you mentioned his ADOT was like 1.2. I'm done playing those type of guys. Zachariah Branch, I don't care how cheap he is at 4K. I'm done with him because
this is 2 freaking years of this guy having all the talent.
He's got all the talent in the world.
I played that guy every game last year, and he never got there for me ever.
Man, I don't know if it's his fault or just scheme. Well, he's done it at 2 schools, so it's probably more his fault.
And 2 good schools.
I just hate this. I hate this Georgia team in general because they use a bunch of running backs as well. Maybe you can talk me in on some Ole Miss guys. This is a game where they're about 6.5-point dog or 5.5-point dogs. I think it was the last I looked. That was yesterday, though. It could have moved. Bruce, what are you doing with this game?
Yeah, man, it's a tough one because I know Chambliss is going to have some ownership at quarterback, Stockton as well, and the total what was it 54.5. UGA is projected for 31. It's always spread out, always tough to figure out. I think Bowens has looked the best at running back, but last week he didn't get a ton of work. It's always rough. Lacey's going to be the bell cow for Ole Miss, but I hate playing running backs against Georgia and their solid defensive line. They're only giving up 11 DraftKings points per game to running backs, so don't have a ton of interest there. Have more interest in the receivers, but Ole Miss receivers have given us nothing but headache over the last couple of years. Even Harrison Wallace at 4,300, his ADOT 17 and still playing the full game almost. He has to be in play somewhat, at least in tournaments. I just can't play Zachariah Branch. Deuce Alexander at 3,100 is not bad either. He's going to get some work, and he's almost min price. So it's just it's a tough game. It's everything's always spread out, and I just don't like playing guys against these defenses.
Yeah, I mean, what was it? Tennessee had success in that first half against them, right? Where they were kind of running, very up tempo. The deep ball was there, but yeah, it's like, I feel like I'm 0 for 4 or 5 on Ole Miss wide receivers, right? Like I've been jamming in Harrison Wallace, and the next thing you know, it's Deuce Alexander catching some long balls and stuff. The one thing that can be like their saving grace here, Big T, is like those receivers are cheap. I don't know. I'm curious to hear what you have to say about this game because it's a decent total. I mean, it's not the grossest on paper. It's just all this production can kind of spread out a little bit, right?
Yeah. Honestly, it was a higher total than I thought, too. Like, I was expecting it to be a little lower. Georgia's defense is overrated, though, in my opinion. I don't think there's amazing. This spot's going to be tough for me, though. Georgia games are the toughest. I mean, Deuce Alexander, 3,100. These guys are at least cheap for Ole Miss. Lacey might be the best play. Projected like 17 or 18, 6,300. I think he is a decent play against a Georgia team that's overrated. I can't really go to too many pieces in this game, though. I don't know. They just both spread it around so far. Georgia's like my least favorite team for forever. They have so many pieces. I mean, you could throw it in SaberSim and kind of see what it spits out, but I do not like this game. Ole Miss kind of got it. Well, it was last week, right, when they got a scare out of some terrible team.
Yeah. Washington
I
State.
don't love this game.
The only thing I would just go back against is like, well, I think I could play Chambliss at 6,800 here with like a Deuce Alexander and a Daquan Wright double stack, right? Or Stribling had 8 targets last week too, right? So he's more of a big play guy. It would be aggressive, but it's cheap enough to do, right? And Bruce, you mentioned there's not like a whole lot of misprices. There's not a whole lot of cheap guys, and there are some studs here in the later game that we're going to kind of like a little bit to spend up on. So if I wanted to like kind of spend down for a double stack, this could kind of be it. But again, I'd much rather stack TCU and Baylor.
Yeah, I mean, it is the type of thing that could win you like the main tournament on DraftKings, though. Like where you play the quarterback with two, like you play him with Alexander and Caden Lee, 31 and 3,400, and they somehow both get you like 20 plus. Like you could win all the money, and it's not totally crazy. I mean, it's we need to pull up the pie chart real quick. Let's see what the men in the max are looking like on these guys. Oh, look at that. Oh, baby. That shows you can get there with it, baby.
That's rough with Striling's projections. Damn. I'm going to argue this real quick, too, just for UGA's sake, right? They played some really bad offense the last 2 weeks in Kentucky and Auburn. I'm not a big fan of Auburn, Jackson Arnold. Against Bama, they gave up 280 through the air, right? And then against Tennessee, what was it? Joey Aguilar and, God, who was the receiver that went off? It was Brazel. They threw for 304. Like if you're going to hit them through the air a little bit, they just haven't played a good quarterback the last couple of weeks. We can kind of forget that, this defense is good, but they are vulnerable, and you are getting Chambliss at under 7K and these receivers at under 4.4K or below. Like, yeah, I think I'm going to be more interested in Ole Miss just because I do think Georgia could be on upset watch. You could have had it last week where Ole Miss was kind of looking ahead for this game and then kind of, letting Washington State kind of sneak up on them a little bit. This is a chance for Ole Miss too. Like, this is a big game. Remember last year how they blew it against Kentucky, right? This is the game where if you win this, you really got a front row seat to the playoff because this is their last true tough match. Oklahoma next week on the road will be tough, but then you have South Carolina, Citadel, Florida, and Mississippi State. I mean, really, you can go 500 in those games and probably make the playoff at that rate. I think this will be the game that Lane Kiffin wakes up his guys for, and I'm going to call it now. You say I don't like underdogs. Ole Miss money line. I'm going to say it right now here for you, Big T. I'll like the underdog.
I like that. I respect that call. That's how you earn respect. You get in there like that.
Lane Kirby Smart. That was bullshit antics, by the way. I'm going to call that out too. That timeout thing with the clap. And I was clapping. That pissed me off, man. It just kind of angered me a little bit. I think the refs are going to give Ole Miss a little favor here this week too. I think that matters a little bit to the refs. We'll move on to Texas A&M taking on Arkansas, a very, very healthy team total in this one. I spent, 2 weeks ago, spending my night watching some Texas A&M on a Saturday night, and that was 2 hours that I couldn't get back before I had to jump on a show. That was pretty rough. Marcel Reed, I don't like this team, man. I really don't. But Mario Craver and KC Concepcion are very good plays, very good players too. Taylon Green is one of the guys that, no matter how expensive he is, I'm always going to try and jam into. Bruce, this is a very good game. We know how bad this Arkansas defense is, too. So despite how I could think that Marcel Reed sucks and now I hate this running game, for Texas A&M, we are getting Reuben Owens at a very cheap tag. And we also had that running back who he got banged up a few weeks ago. God, who's their leading guy? You got to help me out, Bruce. Who's usually the leading guy?
Le'Veon Moss.
Yeah, Moss. He got banged up a couple weeks ago. Is he going to be out for this one here?
Yeah. I think he got carted off last week. I haven't seen what the injury was, but yeah, that didn't look good. So we should get a lot of Reuben Owens, Amari Daniels. Both are cheap. Owens was a former 5-star guy, so he's hasn't really lived up to the expectations yet, but he's a good back. Especially against Arkansas defense. We watched the Notre Dame game against them, and Notre Dame could pretty much they could have scored 150. It felt like, I think Owens is the best play. Obviously, going to have a lot of ownership there, and A&M's going on the road here, so got to probably keep Taylon Green in your pool as well. He's a tough matchup for anybody, but I think A&M's had some troubles on the road on defense. This game used to be at Cowboys Stadium. Now it's at Arkansas. So Green is in play for sure. I like Omega Blake at 7K in tournaments. He's going He got 10 targets at least the last 3 games. Volumes there. I know Concepcion got banged up last week. I think he was. I'm not sure if it was a leg injury or what, but still played most of the snaps. Craver's a good play. You mentioned him. Raylan Sharp has kind of got a lot more targets for Arkansas. 7 targets the last 2 games, and he's 3,100. So I think he's definitely in play there. And then a guy like Rohan Jones, the tight end at 3,100 for Arkansas, also a solid play. If you look at A&M's games here recently, they've also given up some big plays to running backs. So I don't mind Mike Washington Jr. at 6,800 in tournaments. He's going to be low owned, and he's getting most of the work there at running back. So I think he's in play also.
Yeah, it's nice. And it's kind of interesting. Raylan Sharp at only 3,100, 7 targets the last 2 games they played. Like you just said, that is something that pops a little bit. Something that I'll kind of gladly play. I mean, Big T, this is a game where like it wouldn't shock you if it had 70 points in it, right? Like this Arkansas defense is bad, but they have the potential to kind of keep up and keep pace. I mean, is this game comparable to TCU and Baylor for you?
I wouldn't say I trust the nice part about that first game is just like how easy it is to correlate, how easy you could see it going. This game's a lot harder. Like Taylon Green is awesome, but you also have seen times where things don't go as planned. Honestly, I think this could be the game that you just talked about with like Ole Miss. I could see like a Taylon Green, Raylan Sharp, CJ Brown, where you got 3,100, 3,100. Being more of a sneaky like double stack than go. Omega Blake's just expensive. I like Mike Washington a little bit too in this spot. It's a tough road game for A&M. I don't know if I need to pull up their schedule, but I'm assuming they haven't had a great road game yet. They've it felt like everything was at home. Have they played? What's their schedule?
Notre Dame, they played on the road.
Huh?
They played Notre Dame on the road.
Oh, God, when you say Notre Dame.
I had to piss you off there.
The Notre Dame, yeah. And they played them tough, so I like that. And then the Texas A&M side, they just have been solid. And I like they're expensive guys, but their receivers are awesome. So, like, in theory, you could play Reed with our boys, Concepcion, Craver. By the way, Bruce, how about Big Papa Pump's son? He donuts us, Big Papa Pump, and then on the scrub slate on what day was it? Was it Thursday? Thursday, the dude houses and starts kissing his freaking guns and stuff. Unbelievable, Big Papa Pump. You let us down the one day, but Marcel Reed, I mean, Reuben Owens, I don't really know how you get away from it. One of the higher owned guys on the slate. I don't know how you get away from it, though. 4,400 projected, 17, 18 points. And the receivers are how I would get away from it, though. Reed with those guys. I really like this game. I don't trust both sides as much as that first game, but the A&M side, I think you should either have the passing game or the running game on every team you make pretty much. They're just – because the ways this game goes is – Texas A&M rolls them up because Arkansas stinks, or both teams get up and down a little bit and the game turns fun. So either way, the Texas A&M guys are good. I don't trust the Arkansas guys near as much, but they do got a lot of upside, which wins tournaments. I mean, how you say Notre Dame is absolutely shameful. It's even worse than Dampier or whatever you say.
I love how you get so tilted by it. Did your grandpa actually play at Notre Dame too? That guy.
Yeah, I mean, you seen the Niehaus jersey?
No, I have not.
He was Rudy, actually.
Yeah. Bring the Noise is hometown. Yeah, bring the noise. You're a Bengals fan too, right? I'm pretty sure you are. So I know you're a Burrow guy, baby. Dampier, man. We had Dampier as one of the cores.
What if Dampier transfers to Notre Dame?
I'd be the biggest fan. I'd buy a jersey with the last name Dampier, even though they don't have him on Notre Dame. I would do it just to fucking troll. Let's go ahead and move on to this game. You guys are exactly right. High on this game too in general, and we will move on to some SMU and Clemson. Our guys, he's a big Clemson guy. He'll be going to this game here, and Clemson's favored, which Yeah, I know which side Big T's going to be on.
Bruce, they finally shoved on me. They finally gave it to me after about a month of just killing them. They got the better of me. Whoever. Oh, it was versus Belichick. It doesn't even count.
Yeah, it doesn't count against North Carolina. Clemson still sucks.
They laid wood to me though. Yeah.
I'll bring the Know Your Raiders fan. I respect.
Yeah, Boynton was the one that got a picture of my grandpa.
I gotta see that. Oh my God, SC.
Not her down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it on a t-shirt.
With football Jesus on it. Giving back shots or something.
Oh Lord. Bruce, talk to me about some SMU and Clemson, baby.
Yeah, it looks like Klubnik might miss. So this Christopher I can't even say it. Vizina? I guess.
Yeah, it's a little
let Rubio pronounce it. He probably knows this one.
Yeah, it's Italian or something, so he probably has it. I think he'll start in his place. He's 7,400. Doesn't look like he runs too much. Only a few rushes last game. I'll have to brush up on him a little bit if he does end up starting, but he's not too expensive. It is a home game, but Adam Randall's the guy that I want to play here. He's just been smashing every week, 44% usage, and just looks like a stud. Even though he was a receiver last year, he's running the football really hard. Dude looks huge too. So, and catching 4 targets per game getting 4 targets per game as well. So, he just has a ton of upside. It is a tough matchup. SMU is pretty solid against the run, but Randall's just been playing really well. The receivers are always tough, but it's going to be one of 3 guys, Wesco, Williams, or TJ Moore most times. Both aren't all 3 aren't crazy priced here. All under 6,400. So definitely in play. Brinson for SMU has just been solid. 7 and 8 targets the last 2 games. Jordan Hudson, the SMU receiver, not Bill Belichick's girlfriend, 7 targets the last two games as well. So he's playing really well. 3,300 targets are there, and he's getting most of the snaps at receiver on the outside opposite Brinson. So I think he's in play. RJ Maryland, 3,200. There's just a bunch of cheap prices. It's this bad Clemson defense. We saw what Syracuse did to them as well, and that was even on the road. It's a good spot for them. They are getting better. I thought they looked solid against BC last week, but I think these guys have to be in play for sure.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked by that Hudson tag. I wouldn't have guessed he would have been 3,300 here. I mean, that is kind of a little bit too cheap here, and I'm kind of with you. This Clemson defense is not great, man. Syracuse laid off the gas pedal there in the 4th quarter and kind of played not to lose. They're running the ball, milking the clock. Big T, are you on SMU for this one?
I don't know. I'm a little gun shy. I'll admit it. I was on them, Syracuse. They laid wood the last 2 weeks. I forgot about the BC game until Bruce just said it. I remembered Carolina, but it was 2 straight just beat downs. And granted, it wasn't versus good teams. Not saying that, but they pounded them. And SMU hasn't looked great either. I haven't liked how they've looked. Jennings made us a ton of money last year. Steve's in there talking about it. I don't love how he looks, though. His projection looks pretty low at 8,700. I don't really understand why Clemson's projected as good as they are. I mean, it's a low total. Like you said, with Cade being out or maybe out, a game time decision, it looks like. If he's out, I mean, this other guy behind him has to suck. There's no way he doesn't. I just refuse to believe he doesn't suck. So I don't know about these projections. I want to be under on this game for sure, but I would like to come on Rubio and say I want to bet SMU, but I'll admit it, I'm gun shy, and the spread's only 5.5. It looks, I can't pick Clemson because I don't trust them or Klubnik out, but man, it feels like a game Clemson's the right side.
Yeah, I mean, the backup quarterback thing is weird. I'm looking at what he did last year. I mean, he filled in blowouts there. I mean, North Carolina State game, he had a little bit of a role, but that was probably, North Carolina State was down like 40 going into
He's
that.
got to be cheeks. Like, he has to be.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely like one of those trap games, right? Where you're just looking at it, it's a backup quarterback, they're favored, they've been trash all season except for the last 2 weeks. Like, are we seriously going to be, putting your coin in Vizinia's hands? But yeah, I don't know. It does
SMU
feel
might suck too, though. Like, that's the unknown factor in this one. Is SMU really decent? I don't know if they are.
I mean, what you look at their recent games, right? Stanford and Syracuse, they kind of handled Syracuse, which I don't like using the common opponent thing at all.
Yeah, don't use the common opponent.
Yeah, it's like one of those things.
Syracuse's quarterback was in the Clemson game. He got hurt. Now he's out. Like, there's different things.
Yeah, and like it's just like the TCU game too. Like, yeah, I don't know what to think of SMU at all. Baylor and TCU, like Baylor put up a ton of points against them. It feels like a game where if Clemson's, I just feel like SMU is going to score, but I don't want to bet it. I mean, Hudson would be the guy from a DFS point of view where I could play him, like Bruce said, for value wise with the 7 targets the last couple of games for him too, and 3,300. I just don't want to get carried away with it. Like you said, it's only a 50-point total. We got a lot of good spots in the slate. Probably not going to be 8,700 for Jennings is way too much, but Randall and probably just these wide receivers good. I don't want to trust Virginia, so it'd be Randall and Hudson for me from this game and kind of move on. All right, Ohio State taking on lowly Wisconsin here. Jeremiah Smith got Carnell Tate. Carnell Tate's been looking good, man. They didn't really have to utilize him much against Illinois. They were trying to establish it a little bit more than I would have thought. Bo Jackson, the clear, leader in that running back room, kind of got banged up in that second half a little bit against Illinois there. But as far as the Wisconsin side, I mean, there's just not a chance in hell that you guys are playing anyone on Wisconsin. This Ohio State defense is just legit. Bruce, talk to me about some Ohio State.
Yeah, exactly right. You don't want to play any of these Wisconsin guys, especially the way that Wisconsin looked against Iowa last week. They just got destroyed, and I was tilted. I had the Iowa running back, and he was at 96 yards in the third quarter, and they just pulled all the starters. Didn't expect that to happen in 100 years, but it did. So, but yeah, I think running back is always tough for Ohio State because you play Bo Jackson, Donaldson will check in and get that rushing touchdown, and that's what happened last week. Bo Jackson only played 31% of the snaps just because he got banged up. But yeah, one of these running backs is probably going to go off between Jackson and Donaldson. It's a solid spot for him. Tate and Smith are both solid plays. Even Claire at 3,200, good. But yeah, it's mostly a game I just want to play one or two guys and move on. On the Ohio State side, I don't want any part of Wisconsin.
Yeah, this game would have been one where, if you thought 3 weeks ago this could have been a slight look ahead game for Ohio State, right? They'd be looking for Penn State at home. But that Penn State, the lore has kind of calmed down over there. Big T, talk to me about some Ohio State.
Yeah, I mean, these are games I'm never going to like. Yeah. Wisconsin, single digit total. Ohio State, just they have so many guys. I mean, Bo Jackson would be my play if I had to choose. They're going to run 3 running backs in this game, though. Do I really want to play Bo Jackson? No. I don't even need to waste time talking about this game.
Yep, I agree. I mean, the only thing that I would say just to kind of waste time on would be the fact that Ohio State won 42-3 against Minnesota, and Sand went off in it, right? Had over 320 yards, and Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith both got there. Not to say that would happen again, but this is a game.
I mean, it's good. It's not the craziest thing in the world. And it's not the best slate ever. That's one of the reasons I like the Baylor game so much. And everyone's going to like it, but this slate is not the most user-friendly we've had all year.
If I had to make it a narrative, would be that Jeremiah Smith, this is a legit chance for a wide receiver to win the Heisman since Devontae Smith won it. And, they could use this game as a little bit of a push. We'll get you your 150 yards and 2 touchdowns type thing, right? And
he disappointed me last week. He hurt my feelings. He didn't do anything.
Yeah, they didn't throw the ball enough, and he did have a big catch down the sideline get overturned too. It was not the greatest game for him last week, but he's still in the Heisman mix, still top 5 in the Heisman. You know who moved to 75 to 1 odds instead of 120 was our guy Brendan Sorsby too. Get in while it's hot, baby. Yeah.
I love that you even know that.
I checked after that game. I had to. I got to keep tabs on Sorsby. My cash out offer didn't change. Let's go to Texas Tech and Arizona State. Arizona State has the number one wide receiver for fantasy in college football. That's Jordan Tyson. His target share is an astonishing 39%, which that number is just almost make believe, Bruce. Like I literally pull it up, and it's like almost double the next guy. Like Barcade's in the top 12 at 22%. And then you have like Tyson all the way up there in first with 39%. Hammond is not bad. Dickey's not bad. Jacoby Williams, like Texas Tech is going to put up some points. They are kind of priced up a tad, but I mean, overall, this should be an okay game for fantasy. What are you doing with it?
Yeah, I think Texas Tech just rolls here. They've looked like the much better team. ASU's defense hasn't been great. Offense hasn't looked that great either, and Texas Tech defense has just been, so solid. I know it is on the road at ASU. The big thing to look for is Baron Morton and his injury status. If he misses, going to get Will Hammond at 7,200, and I've been waiting for him to start. So yeah, he's a much better runner than Morton is, and that price is really hard to pass up. I think he just runs this offense a lot better. At least he's a much better runner, provides you with more upside for sure. So I will have some Will Hammond if he starts. I think he's a great play here. Cameron Dickey and Jacoby Williams are always tough to pick the right one. Jacoby Williams is 5,200 this week, and I think he's still a solid play here. Dickey got 71% of the snaps last week, so that's why he smashed. He was just Kansas is so bad on defense. You can do whatever you want to them. So I don't hate either of those guys because they're going to get their points for sure. Tyson, you mentioned, is going to get his targets. It is a tough matchup, but I think he's still a solid play. Douglas, Carter, Virgil, Eakin, you can just throw them in a hat and pick one. I don't know which one's gonna smash here, but all are solid plays under 6K. And on the Arizona State side, you have Eusebio, 3K. He's been getting some targets as well. So he's not a bad punt.
Yeah, not at all here. Big T, what are you doing with this game?
Yeah, I think Texas Tech's way better than I thought they were. Levitt, he didn't play last week, right? I think he was out,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah, they were saving him for this game, supposedly.
I just don't. These projections feel low. Texas Tech is just better than I thought they would be. Well, every week when I watch them, I'm more impressed with just their style of play. Arizona State, I want to talk myself into, but I just look and these prices are high. The projections, I don't like what I'm seeing with the numbers. So I think Texas Tech might come in here and handle them a little bit. The spread is 7.5 on the road, 51.5 total. Everything to me screams it's just Texas Tech. And then you got guys like Dickey, who's looked awesome. Jacoby Williams has looked awesome as well. It's always tough to decide which one you want to play. I think they're both in play. Jacoby would be my pick, though. He's lower owned. He's only 5,200. I feel like he's got just as much opportunity, even though Dickey might be more talented. So that's where I want to go, actually, the running backs. I don't like this game as much as I thought I would. When I saw it and saw that it was a relatively, 50, total? I guess it's not even that high, 51.5. So I guess, it makes sense. I'm not going to be super high on this game. Running backs from Texas Tech, I think they handle them too, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of makes sense here. Will Hammond would, be in, and when he hurt the wide receivers more than Morton being in, obviously, Bruce, like Morton's more of a passer than Hammond, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, so that makes sense targeting the running game there. And I mean, if you want it, the Tyson thing's like interesting just because, like, it feels like he should be 9K up there with Jeremiah Smith, like almost just because of the usage is insane. But I mean, you if anyone clicked on Tyson tomorrow, Bruce, they're making a good click, right? I mean, it's not never a bad click with that target share.
Exactly, and they're likely going to be trailing. If you're playing the Texas Tech running backs, either one, he's a solid play. It's just a good spot. as I do see them playing from behind, and his quarterback's back.
Yep, I love it. I love it. So now we're going to do the plays of the day on this main slate here. That's 11 gamer that we got. I'll let you guys kind of get your stuff together here. We're about to talk through the 4 gamer tonight. We'll get to that after the plays of the day. So anyone wondering, if we're talking about the Friday slate, we are for the first time in the show, and I'll make sure to get the Friday slate up here in a minute. We will talk about some Miami and Louisville, San Jose State, which cult hero. I mean, I miss my guy Nick Nash, man. I can't wait to play him next preseason. We got Scudero, though, who's been an absolute stud. I hope he's able to go tonight. But yeah, lots of fun to be had on tonight's slate too that we'll talk about here in a minute. Big T, I'm going to you first for your play of the day. Who is your play of the day on the Saturday main slate?
Man, so I was trying to find the ownership. Doesn't look crazy though, honestly. I figured these Baylor guys would be higher. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who I want to choose, so I'm just gonna say Bryson Washington with Trigg and Cameron. I know that might be chalky, but I'm looking at the ownerships. I mean, none of them are that high owned. I don't have as strong a takes as I've had the last couple weeks. I know for sure I want to play that like trio right there. So I'm just going to give all 3. I could pick one, but I honestly don't know which one I like better right now. And like in my SaberSim builds, I'll play Hawkins and Wilson, but in my main team, I don't really want to go there. I just feel really, really good about Sawyer Roberts. I might have said Washington. I said it wrong if I did. But Sawyer Roberts, I said Washington, didn't I?
I think you did. Because
I said it wrong. Because I was looking at the running backs, and I said it wrong. But Sawyer Robertson with Trigg and Cameron. Definitely not Washington. So Robertson, Trigg, Cameron. 3-man play for me.
Yeah, we love our double stacks, Tony. That is definitely something that you can give away as a double stack despite the ownership, because not a whole lot of people are going to pair those two.
I don't understand why it's not higher owned just looking at it.
It's the price on Robertson.
Missing.
It's the price on Robertson being at 8.9. Where I think
the receivers are cheap.
I mean, what, 58 and 56 kind of it's kind of on the higher end. I mean, when you really zoom out, like a lot of cheap wide receivers.
They're projected for 17 and 18. This makes for a good play of the day though, because I don't get it. Like I feel like it should be chalk, and it's not.
Bruce, play of the day, Saturday slate.
Man, if he starts, I'm going to go with Will Hammond. I think he'll probably gain some steam and get some ownership, but I just love the spot for him against Arizona State, and he's a runner, only 7,200. You're kind of going to need that cheaper QB. So I like him here.
Who would your preference be to play with him if we do it?
Man, that's a tough one. I do like Douglas a little bit. Just because he has more upside. But I'd lean there, Douglas, and then maybe Carter. They're all under 5,500, about that same price point. So it's close, but probably Douglas.
I like it. We got Will Hammond play of the day there. You got Robertson with a double stack of Trigg and Cameron as well. I'm going to go with the similar ballpark. You know what? I'm going to do the dog play here. Right? I'm just going to go, with the Ole Miss money line. I think Champ Bliss throws for 300. I think Deuce Alexander at 3,100 is too cheap. Him and, I don't know if you have to double stack, but if you needed a cheap wide receiver, I'll do Deuce Alexander, kind of give people a little bit of flavor. Alexander's targets have been decent in recent weeks too. I mean, Bruce, you give me that sheet every single week, which I absolutely love. And when I filter it out to Ole Miss, like you look at Alexander, 4 targets last week, but then he had 8 targets the week before, which led the team the week before they last played a game and stuff. At 3,100 here, I want to take more gambles on these cheap wide receivers, because every single week, these 3K wide receivers with no ownership are in the winner. And it is like literally time and time again. Like last week, we said how chalk failed every single time. Like it was the worst week of chalk of like all time in college football. But the 3K shitter still got it done, man, at the wide receiver spot. So I'll go with some Deuce Alexander to give people a little cheap flavor. There's a lot of cheap ones that you'll have in the playbook too, for anyone wondering. They kind of give you that advantage and allow you to spend up for the rest of your teams. Let's move on to the 7 p.m. slate for tonight, guys. We got Louisville taking on Miami to start us off. You got another Big Ten matchup. Then you got your West Coast game starting at 9 with San Jose State and Utah State. And then Bill Belichick travels to Cal, which kind of can't wait to talk about this Cal quarterback. I'm not going to pronounce his name because I'll pronounce it wrong, but he has actually been a fun guy to watch, because Cal's one of those late games where if you pull them up, they are actually like a decent team to watch. I know he struggled last time out, but a couple weeks ago he had a big game. Bruce, I'm going to start you off here with some Louisville and Miami. We have our guy Malachi Tony, which I know that all of y'all got to be fans. I mean, like that, I've gushed over him before. You've gushed over him to start the season. You're the one who originally opened my eyes to him. Just an unreal talent at under 5K. That price just doesn't move. I mean, none of these Miami guys have really moved in price at all. This Louisville matchup too. I mean, Miller Moss. You got Chris Bell, who's been going off in recent weeks too. What are you doing with this game here, Bruce?
Yeah, it's an interesting matchup for sure. A lot of these Louisville guys are from Florida, from Miami area. So, they'll want to go home and have a good solid game. I love Tony here at 4,900. You mentioned him. Just a big play waiting to happen. He's super fast out of the slot and has 3 touchdowns this season. I think he's such a great play. CJ Daniels at 4,200 as well. Miami wants to run the football and then, kind of hit you over the top with the pass. So, kind of gonna have to hit that long play probably, or maybe even Daniels in the red zone like he does. But it's just tough to play Carson Beck at 8,400 when he's going to throw it 28 times and that's it. Doesn't run a whole bunch. So probably fading him. Don't mind Miller Moss because he's probably going to have to pass more than he has in the past. But Miami's pass rush is tough. So going to be a little bit tougher there. Isaac Brown is from Miami, so 6,200 for him, averaging 7.5 yards per rush, but definitely the toughest matchup they've had all year. I do like Mark Fletcher, 7,100, getting 16 carries per game, and just looks like a stud. I really like this Miami offensive line, and it's a good spot for them to succeed. I think Louisville's going to have to throw it a little bit more, so Bell and Lacey are definitely in play. They are priced up, but I don't mind them just because they're going to see more volume. Probably 30 targets for Bell the last 2 weeks is crazy volume, and I think he could see similar here in this one. He's a future NFL stud.
Yeah, it feels like Louisville has one of those guys every 2 or 3 years where, you look at what he did. What was it against Virginia? What was it, 12 catches for 170 yards and 2 touchdowns or whatever, which is just insane. I mean, they've kind of had a little bit of a soft schedule. I think last week they played, or what was it, 2 weeks ago, they played not to lose at home, and they didn't go for it in 4th and 1 or 4th and 2 and kicked the field goal. And next thing you know, they gave up a touchdown to lose to Virginia in overtime. And that was the most disappointing because I like watching Louisville a little bit, and they just kind of blew that game. And then you're going on the road to Miami. They had the bye week at the very least, kind of set things right. Big T, what are you doing with this game?
Yeah, it feels like a tricky spot a little bit both ways. It's a real tough spot for Louisville going to Miami. In Miami, I don't feel like they've had a lot of big games and they've played up a lot. Now all of a sudden they get a letdown a little bit on a Friday night. I don't love this spot compared to the rest of the slate. I was trying to run my numbers when we were going, but it didn't run quick enough. I don't love this game. I'll be honest. I think Tony is one of the better plays of the slate. He's only 4,900. He should be, I don't know, 6,900 or something. He should be way more expensive. He's the only guy I like from Miami, though. And then Louisville, Chris Bell would be the only guy that sticks out to me. Lacey, I just thought he's too expensive. How is Lacey 6,200 and Tony's 4,900? It just makes it really hard for me. So, I don't love a ton in this game, though.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. You look at Louisville; they threw the ball 48 times against Virginia, and Colin Lacey didn't even do much at all. What was it, 5 for 21? They threw the ball 51 times against Pitt. He did 8 for 95 too. It's just even with the extreme amount of volume that the Louisville passing attack has had, it's just he hasn't really done that much to justify a price tag of 6,200, and he's not the red zone guy either. It just feels like he's a limited play at 6,200. I'm with you, Bruce. Malachi Tony, top guy in this game. Chris Bell. I mean, you can play 2 wide receivers, and then this is where people always talk about can you play? Do you play only one quarterback this week? Right? You always play 2 on a slate. Always play 2 no matter what. But these first 2, Carson Beck at 8,400, is a bit steep, and so is Miller Moss. Yeah. But the one thing in Miller Moss is the volume has been there the last 2 weeks, and If they can't get the running game going, which, I mean, they really haven't. I mean, if you look at what they did against Virginia, and they had to come back, from behind against Pittsburgh too, like they haven't ran the ball well at all over the last few weeks. And that's some inferior competition where Miami can stop the run a little bit better than them. If you're going to get Miller Moss to drop back 50 times, I mean, maybe you can make the case at 8,200, but it is a tough matchup for sure. Nebraska, Minnesota, Big Ten matchup. We get Mahomes, the Mahomes light. I don't know. Do you call him Baby Mahomes or what? I don't know what to say here, but 67.
Can't take someone else's nickname.
What do you call him?
I call him the dollar store Mahomes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. You know what? That's probably the most respectful way to put it there. I mean, Nebraska has been a team that they finally hit the rankings inside the top 25. They go and beat Maryland last week too. Raiola has looked inconsistent, but I still think the talent is there. You have Hunter, who is a little bit too cheap on this slate here at 3,900, probably going to be one of the higher owned value guys on the entire slate. And Darius Taylor too. I mean, what a projection you got him for, Bruce. Like, it's just, you got two really good plays in this one. Then Emmett Johnson, we should kind of talk about too, as another running back here. Is this going to be a really popular game for tonight?
Yeah, there's just some guys that are mispriced. Someone called Dylan Raiola Patton Apartments last year instead of Patton Mahomes, which I think that's solid. He's looked okay. I thought he looked good last week against Maryland on the road. It's he's going to throw it over 30 times probably. And he has some good receivers. In Hunter, Barney, and Dane Key they're all under 4,300. So can't discount that for sure, especially if they fall behind. This Emmett Johnson looks really good. Darius Taylor, I said it all year, the way to attack Nebraska is on the ground. Their defensive line hasn't been great this season, and 5,400 for a workhorse guy like him, played 85% of the snaps last week, is just tough to pass up. Minnesota offensive line's been pretty solid too, so I like him a lot tonight for sure. Both running backs in this game are elite. Just Emmett Johnson does so much through the air, 5 targets per game as well, and it should be a good DFS spot for him. Hunter is just way too cheap at 3,900. Barney at 3,600 is dumb. Brockington on the Minnesota side at 4K, 14 targets last 2 weeks is too cheap. It's a game that I, on like a big slate, I probably wouldn't want to have a lot of, but on a 4-game slate, I definitely have some interest in these cheap guys.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Like, it feels weird talking from an 11-game slate to just a 4-gamer here. No Dane Key slander allowed here, Christopher McDonald, our former UK guy. We love our Dane Key here. I mean, Big T bet his ladders a little bit to start the year. It didn't end up bad. I mean, against UC, at least did something there where you got like the almost even money prop, which that's what you need in a ladder, is just to break even a little bit. Big T, talk to me about this game and talk to me more about the quarterbacks too. All right, you got Lindsey and Raiola on a slate where quarterback is kind of gross. I mean, do they kind of pop for you here?
Yeah, I mean, it goes to the point of trying to get 2 quarterbacks in there. The nice part for Raiola is you got 2 guys you can pair them super cheap with, or 3 if you count Key, but Hunter and Barney. And you can even like go full leverage and just not play Emmett Johnson and play Raiola with both of them or something. I don't know if you should fade Emmett Johnson on this slate. It's just too much of a projection, but you could, though. It's college football and it's Friday night. You never know what could happen, and it makes a lot of sense to do that. Or you play, like on the other side, you play Darius Taylor, run it back with the passing game of Nebraska. Like, not a lot of people are going to do that. The Minnesota side is truly just Taylor. His price tag was huge at times the last couple of years. 5,400. I mean, I'm guessing it's just because Minnesota's horrible, but still, he's going to get tons of volume. He's got a 20-point projection at 5,400. You have to like that. Nebraska's going to be the decision points of the night, at least for me, because I don't think they're that good, but these plays are good. I mean, Emmett Johnson's awesome. Raiola's good because you need 2 quarterbacks. Hunter's cheap. Barney's cheap. Key's cheap. I don't know. They're tough decisions here for sure.
Yeah, without a doubt. It is like a little bit tough for the most part here. I'm just trying to think, like, how can you get different? We'll talk about the other two games here in a second too, because it feels kind of straightforward for the most part, right? If you were running a cash lineup, it's like Chris Bell, Malachi Tony, Taylor Johnson, right? And then you're kind of piecing it together here. And then, if you wanted
There's
to play,
injuries on this slate too that could pop up on a Friday night. There's a lot of like key questionable guys that could swing the entire slate if they get ruled out, and they probably will. It's a Friday night. It's college football. There's not exactly news like other sports. Like, don't be surprised if some key guys get dinged. Like, that's why you need to be in the Run Pure Sports Discord all the way till game time. I mean, look at the game time: 7, 8, 9, and 10:30. Space through the entire evening just to soak up and get ready for NBA next week. You gotta soak it in, and very key guys. I mean, you got guys with 30-point projections questionable. So
yep, you're exactly right. And we'll go ahead and get to these couple guys who are questionable for the slate, right? Where, it's not straightforward. It's a Friday night, like you said, and those two guys are two of the better plays in the entire slate, Walker Egat and Danny Scudero. This game's total is incredibly healthy as well. What is it, in the 60s? You got, just a questionable tag, right? Where, is it certain?
It's 2 touchdowns higher than the other 3 games. Yeah. Like 2 full touchdowns.
With probably the 2 most important players not for certain to be in, right, Bruce? Like, what's the status on Egan and Scudero?
Yeah, so they left the game against Wyoming, and so they're still just questionable. Nothing, no updates yet on them. I haven't projected in for now, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Scudero, obviously the best receiving play on the slate if he's in. Dude had 10 catches, 180 yards, and 4 touchdowns last week. I think his first 5 catches, 4 were touchdowns against Wyoming last week. And, he's just so good. He was even doing very, very well against Texas before he got a little banged up. He's a smaller guy, so that's probably his downfall in the end is he's just, kind of like Des Reed, where he just gets hurt every game. You kind of expect that from time to time. If he doesn't go, if both of those guys don't go, it's going to be a little bit tough for sure to feel great about the San Jose State side. It is on the road at Utah State, so I do like the Utah State side. The San Jose State defense is pretty bad, and I Bryson Barnes is the best quarterback play on the slate. His usage is crazy compared to everybody else's on the slate for sure. He's going to run the football, and then he has 3 good receivers to throw it to in Pagan, Boyd, and Brock Lane. And they're all pretty cheap. Pagan 59, Boyd 51, and Lane at 38. So those 3 guys are all solid. If Scudero doesn't go, Scholes, Coleman, Smith, all in play there. All really good plays and cheap as well. I don't mind Steve Chavez Soto at 5,700, the running back. I think he's been really good. Played 62% of the snaps last week, and he has a couple of rushing touchdowns this year. It's a pretty bad Utah State defense too. It lost a lot of guys in the offseason. So, I think especially if Egat and Scudero are in, this game is going to be crazy high scoring and should be a really good offensive game.
Yeah, 100% here. And Big T talked about it here. I mean, it's just tough to get away from this game, right?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that could really get me away from it at all is just if those guys are out, it will change a lot because you got a lot of experience, a lot of talent, and it gets ugly quick. Where even just Scudero, our boy Marco Scudero, if he even doesn't play, just because of the salary aspect, like there's so many good cheap plays on the slate. It swings things if you take that 30 projection out of there and the 8K price tag out of there. It's a totally different build. All of a sudden, you really can't spend all the salary. You go from it being somewhat tight to fit everything you want to everything's open. Like if you fade, because I was even playing around with like just teams that didn't play him. it's just really hard. And for the people that have run like SaberSim a lot and stuff, you're just giving up so much projection if you don't pop in that 30-plus point projection. He's just such a beast. But he's hurt. He left last game. He could sit, and we might not know until – I mean, the second game, there's good plays in these first two games. There's not as many good plays in the last game. It's tough to wait if we don't have any news. I mean, you could really get caught holding the bag if you need to plan out a 2v2 or something where if somebody's out. I mean, think if you got both of them in there and they somehow sit late, you're not going to have pivots. Like you're going to have a handful of a time. So I've thought about building teams like just say, screw it, whatever. I'll fade Scudero one night and just build the best team without him and just hope that whatever, he friggin' doesn't play or he gets hurt again or something. I don't think it's like the worst strategy ever in that thing.
Yeah, that's the thing here too. And Myron, like you mentioned it here even just a second ago. If Scudero missed, like, yeah, it would definitely, those wide receiver 2s and 3s and that tight end would have to get a bump because Scudero is one of the best target monsters. And if you're fading, you're not fading him because you think he is going to be terrible on the slate. You're fading him like maybe he misses and everyone else is like left not having.
I don't think it's the worst thing ever in that $20 or $15 to play. You get with Scholes and Leland Smith or something, and just maybe then you root for the news later. You root for the helmet holding and all that. Like it's not like you're dead. I mean, yeah, the guy has a monster projection, but every single person is playing him too. You're not gaining anything on the field if he just goes and crushes. And I'm not saying to do it on your main teams and different stuff like that, but in that big tournament, why not?
If you're playing him, have a pivot thing, right? That's
it's
the one
tough
thing
though. Like, what's the pivot? There's no pivots.
It would have to be in this game, right? Like, oh God, yeah, you kind of run out of room.
Especially if they both somehow sat. Then you're just upstream in a hurry.
If you wanted the old like me wearing a bicycle helmet fake, it would be like, one QB build would be your pivot, or like, you would build it with one quarterback and then you would pivot to like the Cal quarterback, for example, right?
Yeah.
Or, like that would be like the only move that I can kind of see making a little bit of sense because you're probably using a lot of your salary with Barnes and outside of Eget and stuff, you're kind of locked in with only 3 players above this game above 7K, and that's the same thing with the Cal and UNC game, right? There's just not a whole lot of options above 7K. So yeah, I mean, just be prepared for the news. Our guy Bruce, the best in the business of getting the news out, tracks all the beat reports. We'll listen to the pregame shows for San Jose State. He'll be grinding, he'll be listening to the radio show, and he'll sift through like 40 minutes of stupid talk and then be like able to find a 10-second gem. So that's what Bruce does. He gets stuff done. He'll get that Danny Scudero news for us here and that Eget news too. So should be a lot of fun. We'll move on from that game. Again, a lot of news to be had. Be sure to be in the Run Pure Sports Discord, playbook. Everything else will be updated with that news too once we get it. UNC taking on Cal. I actually liked watching this quarterback. Granted, I didn't get to see the disaster class that he put on last week. But a couple weeks ago against, what was it, Minnesota, I believe? Was it was it really a month ago against Minnesota that he actually looked good? Damn, it's been a month since I watched this quarterback, but yeah, he looked really good against Minnesota. That's like the lasting impression. Then last week he throws 3 interceptions. Any team though is looking good against UNC. I love this quarterback tonight. I love stacking him up, whether it's with DeJesus or God, even if you got me some Grizzle here too, I can double stack this Cal quarterback. This is why, I have zero issue playing 2 quarterbacks because I'll play Eget if he's healthy. I'm definitely playing Barnes, and then if Eget's not healthy or whatever, I can just go to our Cal quarterback here. Which, I'm not even going to try.
Call him JKS.
Yeah, JKS.
Like he's terrible. What are you talking about?
He's not terrible. He's going to lay wood tonight. They're going to put up 40 on UNC.
He does not. I mean, he's got 5 straight weeks under 20 points. Like he's horrible.
There's no way he put up under 40 points against Cal. Or 20 points. Or against Minnesota. Yeah.
He had 21 that game, and that was his best game of the year.
Yeah, and he's going to put up
25. He's terrible. Like, he's horrible.
Nah. I'm not going to let you disgrace him. All right.
You were talking him up like I had to check him out because I'm like, I don't remember this guy being good, and I pulled him up like I don't know what I was. This is college, like
he's a true freshman from Hawaii, baby.
He's got like a 6 point or an 8 point. Like this dude's terrible.
I'm betting his props tonight.
He's going to be good. He has his ups and downs. I think he was committed to Oregon at one point, and
until they realized he sucks, they're like, we can't give it to this guy.
Wait, was he the kid who committed to Oregon and then decommitted because of Dante Moore or something like that?
I think it was something like that. But yeah, he's gonna be good. He looks good. He looks like the USC quarterback. I hate to compare them because they kind of look similar, but they play kind of similar. They're both good passers, I guess. He had a really bad game against San Diego State on the road, and that's tough for me to overlook. But it was on the road, so maybe he bounces back here at home. He did play okay against Boston College too.
I mean, he threw 3 picks to Duke last week at home.
Yep. Yeah.
UNC's another North Carolina.
He's got 6 picks the last 3 weeks, and he's got single digits in 2 of the games. Like what?
Yeah.
What are you guys? I mean, well, I don't know what you guys are talking about here. You guys are loving this.
He's definitely going to be up and down. It's going to have.
Where's the ups?
Minnesota.
He had a solid game against Minnesota.
A 21 is an ups now.
I mean, on a 4-game slate, it's not terrible. I mean, these quarterbacks are terrible tonight.
I mean, I will concur with you there. It is a bad quarterback slate.
I just went through my rankings and I put Gio Lopez at 5. So yeah, it's a tough. It is a very tough slate. But I do love Cal here. Kendrick Raphael at 6,600 running back. He's a solid play. 53% usage for him, and I think he's good. The backup is hurt. Brandon High is out for the year, so don't. He should get the most of the work. L.J. Johnson should get some as well. He's only 3,200. And then you have Demon June for North Carolina, 4,700. Should get about 10 touches there. He's cheap and looks the part. Cal's kind of had some issues with the run game this year, so I don't mind him. And then you have the Cal receivers, all of them in play here. Grizel, DeJesus, Mason Minnie, the tight end. And on the UNC side, it's a little bit tougher, but Jordan Shipp, 3,400 is solid. He's 18% target share, and then this Shenard Clower guy for 3K is got 6 targets the last 2 games, and he's been priced. So have some interest there. I don't want to play Gio Lopez, but it's a terrible quarterback slate, and if they're trailing, his 6,300, which is a nice price. And he does run the football as well. He should start tonight. He's listed as a starter, but you just never know. It's one of those things you probably have to pay attention to Twitter and Discord to get the final word there.
Our guy JKS with a prop of 250 yards and looking like 2 touchdowns is minus 160 through the air. I mean, what's not to like, Big T?
I mean, the fact that he's terrible. I'm going to play Carson Beck over him.
Oh my God. That's bad. I'm not going to hate on Carson Beck, but can I just say this? Like, why is every Hawaiian quarterback a lefty? That's just like what's crazy to me.
Even this guy's name's terrible. Like, you got to call him JKS. I like JKS. I mean, he'll break the entire playbook if you type his full name out. Well, the whole scale will get out of whack. But Sam Jackson more accurate than JKS. I mean, Chris McDonald. I don't know what they're talking about in this game. I do like Raphael, though. I don't think he's going to be played as much as the ownership projection says, too.
This one gets me weak. The prime Cal there.
I like Raphael a lot in this game. Carolina's been bad. 6,600 is a little steep. Yeah. I would not play Rubio over anybody, for the record. I'd play JKS over him. Have you seen this guy throw the foot? Bruce saw him throw at the party. I mean, this guy throws a football so he throws it like he's a soccer player. It's so bad. But Yeah, I like Raphael. No way I'm playing Carolina, guys. I'm still trying to find my second quarterback as we finish the show.
That's good stuff. JKS, there's plenty of room on the bandwagon, Big T. Don't be afraid to flip sides later on, especially after Eget gets rolled out and then you're left holding the bag and you're just forced to click JKS at that point.
I really want to find a team where I don't play Eget for one, but
it would if Scudero's status, like if those guys get rolled out, like all of a sudden you'd definitely be having a lot of JKS just because he's the only guy who can kind of fill that salary. But if you do go one of the early quarterbacks, I mean that's kind of the issue, right? Where you're probably going to have Barnes, and then if you're playing one of the early guys, Moss or Beck, right? Or if you even wanted to go to the other game with Rayola or Lindsey, like you're not left holding the bag, but there's a decent chance that if you did wait on that news, all of a sudden you kind of get left with a bad situation for the most part. All right, plays of the day for the Friday slate. Not too much going on. Big T, I'm going to start with you here for your play of the day on this Friday slate.
Let's find someone that's not crazy high. It is a weird slate where like the best plays are all pretty obvious. So I think the lowest owned guy that I love is actually Raphael. He's projected under 30%. I don't know. Like I could go even lower and find somebody down there, but yeah, it's a short slate, so I'll give Raphael. I like him the best.
Yeah,
and he gets to own your quarterback. You can have him as your play.
Bruce, who's your play of the day?
Well, I saw Snyder in the Discord talking about Nebraska receivers, and he said Hunter's the best play, 3,900. Barney's even a great play for cheap. I'm going to go with my guy Dane Key at 4,300.
Now you're just spoiling Rubio. You just gave him a full-blown Woody.
I just think he's a good play. He's been playing the full game, hasn't had a huge game this year, and I think this is his breakout game here.
I love it. Dane Key, it makes me want to hit the 6-7 celebration. After Darnell Washington hit it, my fiance goes, "Oh, he did the 6-7 celebration." We're watching with my dad, and he's like, "What's that?" And then having to explain what the 6-7 meant was a terrible 5-minute process because it literally means nothing.
I have no idea what it even is. So
Boomer, you're 40 now, right? Like,
well, see, 6-7 was like 6 foot, 7 foot. That was the Lil Wayne song back in the day. But that's the only thing I know. Yeah.
That's the one thing that's kind of bridging the generation gap is if you think of 6-7, you're thinking of that song. While meanwhile, Gen Z and Gen X are stuck with some brain rot TikTok stuff. My play of the day. I mean, like you said, it's really tough to get different. And I'm gonna go chalky just because I love this guy so much. Malachi Toney, 4,900. Just
my God.
Okay, I told you.
You don't even come in with your boy. You take the chalkiest dude.
Okay, well, if I said JKS, that would have been too predictable.
Who cares about predictable? I want you on JKS.
All right, fine. You know what? You're going to play Tony at 7 o'clock. Then when 10:30 comes around, you're going to have the late night hammer, and that late night hammer is the sign of JKS. It's
going to be so funny when I win all the money with JKS on my team. I can't wait.
It's a locket.
I can't find a second quarterback. There's no one to play. I don't like any of them.
Cal's going to put up 38 points tonight.
38? He's going to go from all these games to 38?
JKS is putting up 4 touchdowns through the air, all right? And it's going to be a nice stag. JKS with our guy Jacob DeJesus. So, he's going to be producing. I'm going to say it right now. JKS, top scorer outside of Bryson Barnes on the entire slate. There you go, Big T. I'll commit to it.
Why'd you say if he's getting 40, he's going to be higher than Barnes even?
Utah State's scoring 38 too. They're both putting up 38. Barnes is just going to run a little bit more to give him that little tidbit there. All right. That is enough from us. We appreciate y'all for watching. Again, we're hopefully this outro video is not too bad. I am trying something new. So, for Big T, for Bruce and I, we appreciate y'all for watching. Have a great rest of y'all's day. Have a good one.